Mainly, what this podcast is going to be about is us trying to talk about our struggles. Yes, because software development journey, it's not. Um, it might look so elegant, but there are so many roadblocks that one we have to hit on the way. There are so many of them that can as well discourage you or make you want to turn back. So that is the reason why I created this, so we can share our stories, and also encourage ourselves along the line. So uh, the way I would start, or I would love to start it, it's probably to start with who am I? Okay, so my name is Michael, and I'm a full stack software developer, and I take interest in application security. So don't just build application securely, right? So, I've actually worked in some establishments, and currently I work as a co-founder and the CTO at the Petaverse, Home Run, and My Dialectic, right? So if there's someone that should tell you about Johnny, so I think I'm one of them, right? So that is the reason why, because there are so many struggles. There's so many time that you self doubt yourself, and you ask yourself a question: if I can actually do this, is this thing really for me? So there are so many times you think that in your journey as a software developer or as a software engineer. Also, there are so many times that some people will mistake you to be maybe a web designer. So no, there are clear difference between a web designer and a web developer. So there are so many struggles that we go through, and I want you to know that it does not really matter. It does not really matter how you started, how you keep going, and the end of the game is what you should focus on, which is your bigger dream. So every day of your life, it's how you want to ensure that you attain that level that you want to attain, and also achieve that thing that you want to achieve as a software developer. And also, there is another fear that people will say that who is doing software development now in this time and age of AI? AI will take your job. AI will take your job. Okay. So I'm telling you, there is nothing like that. AI is not taking your job anytime soon. Not even now. Not even in the next 10 years. Okay. The only fear you should have is that someone that knows AI might take your job, right? So, also on this podcast, we will be talking about how you can also navigate this path and this terrain and this time of AI, so that as a software developer, you can also still remain relevant even with AI in place. But I must tell you, is learning software development skill still in the game? Yes, it's still in the game. It's still in the game. So that is a little I want to say. The next thing is we are going to take questions. You just type your questions in that you want to ask. Type it in the chat box. Then I will pick them one at a time. And I want you to know, be free, because one thing that in growing in my career in this path, I noticed that there are some questions that I have and I don't have anybody to ask, right? So Many of those questions remain unanswered. Many of those questions I got answer to them along my journey, right? So, and I don't want that to be uh, the case of maybe someone that is actually here watching this morning. So I want us to always answer that question, and that is the reason why we call this podcast, a hello world. So from the very first code that you are writing. So now, write your question in the chat box. Then we take it one at a time. Be free to drop your question here, and we'll take it and answer your questions. Thank you. Maybe, okay, we don't, if you are here, can you just say where you're watching from? Maybe just type it in the chat box. So that means you're just going to type your question and where you are actually connecting from right now. Okay, great. All right, let's get your question coming. I realized that in this journey, learning software development is hard, right? It's already hard. And it makes a lot of sense if only you have someone that can help you through the journey, right? So learning is hard, and not learning it properly is harder. All right, so let's have your question. Okay, so do you have any question? Type your question. Let's see. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm watching from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, watching from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, great. Okay, all right. Okay, any questions? Maybe you're just starting your journey in software development, or you have some broader questions that you need answer for. So that's why I'm here. So to help you through the journey, nothing more. So you're not paying for consultancy fee. So ask your question. I believe it's impossible to. Give me a minute. Okay. So I'm waiting for your questions. I'm waiting for your questions. I'm waiting for your questions. Okay, is that how long did it take you to become a full stack? Okay, now if how long does it take me to become a full stack dev, or does it naturally take to become full stack dev, and what are the challenges that I actually went through? Okay, let me start from the challenges I went through. With that, we can calculate how long does it take me. Um, I love to be. I spent almost about 2 3 years trying to figure out how to get into software development. About 2 to 3 years, just trying to figure out. So at this time, I learned different programming languages. I think my first programming language was Python. After I finished the basics, I was lost. I don't know where to go again. Then I learned C sharp. That's what they call it. Then I was confused. I don't know where to go again. Then before I saw a boot camp, right? And in that boot camp, it wasn't free and it wasn't cheap. So we are supposed to spend about 9 months, right, to become a full stack dev. No instructor. You have to study by yourself. And at that time, it was big dollar that we actually paid. Uh, so my journey, if I minus those times about 2 to 3 years wasted. I mean, for you, if you study almost about 6 to 8 hours every day, which what I did, like I study almost about 10 hours every day, including Sunday and Saturdays. And it took me almost about 8 months to 9 months to become a full stack software dev. But that is not going to be the end of the journey, right? So, because in software development, learning continues. So, before you finish, okay, let me tell you this story because immediately I finished from the boot camp and I got my first job. What I learned in the boot camp was React. But the first job I got, they gave me Nest.js to work on, and I've never worked on it, and I never even read about it. So it makes me look like I was so stupid. Okay, what have I been learning in the boot camp? But the point is, it's not that the boot camp didn't teach me what they ought to have taught me. It's just because development, that is how it is. In software development, you just have to be evolving, right? So your learning, your training does not end. Even when you are out of the boot camp, the training continues. That is the only way you can think out of the box and remain relevant. So, but if you look at the training journey, it will take about 6 to 8 months for you to say, okay, I cover maybe about some percentage, level of percentage to beat your chest and say, okay, I'm a full stack software dev. So between 6 to 8 months, right? But the learning continues, right? And my challenges most of the times are not knowing what to learn next, not knowing who to ask some challenging questions, right? Like mentor, right? So if you have someone that mentors you, like for example, you have some bugs in your code and you have searched on the internet, you're not seeing solution to it. Someone that you can always call. Oh, I'm having this problem. Can we look into this code together? I have those challenges, and that is the reason why, one of the main reasons why I'm creating this platform. So as we progress on this platform, we will be bringing on codes to review and also to learn as we progress. So I hope I answer that question. And I think I have another question here for someone who is in the education industry. What application for program language do you advise? Okay, excuse me. When you say in education sector, so probably the person actually want to build an edtech, maybe online school, or maybe you have some business ideas about edtech. So I think what they call it is edtech, so that is education tech. I mean plus technology, so they call it edtech. Most of the time, front end development, because there's no way you do edtech that you will not have contact with a user that wants to use it. So which means that the application will need front end, right? And also we need back end. So for the front end, of course, you will need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? So if the person is having the idea and wants to build the thing himself or herself, then the person needs to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for the front end, right? And sometimes to make the journey easier, once you learn front end, having JavaScript in your toolbed, then you can advance to learn backend with JavaScript as well, right? Because you can actually use JavaScript in both front end and the back end. Okay, so to make this, because now it's going to be easier for you because you don't have to learn another programming language again. Now you just learn the backend with the programming language you already know, which is JavaScript. Then you learn the backend. With that, your journey might be quicker than someone like, for example, myself. I actually, after I learned front end HTML, CSS, JavaScript, I had to also learn Ruby programming language. So with Ruby programming language, you can as well, with Ruby on Rails, you can build backend as well, right? And if you say, okay, I want to learn Python with Python as well, you can build backend. But however, if you have your knowledge in building backend with JavaScript, right, you can as well still bring part of Python and put it on top of your code that is JavaScript, right? So you can mix them together, you can stick to one. But for someone that is just learning, my great advice is going to be stick to one programming language first. Once you master it, to learn new programming language, it won't take you 2 weeks because it's just the same, different syntax. It's just like you want to enter a house with different doors. So you're still going inside the same house. So what I will advise for that person is that uh, take HTML, CSS, JavaScript. With that, you are set to actually build whatsoever you want to build, be it mobile application, be it web application, even if it's desktop applications. So you are going to be rounded. And I believe I answered that question. So do we have any question again? But I want you to know that the reason why we are having this journey is because I know there are so many questions out there that many people want to ask and many people need answers for. And with here, we can as well build a community that we answer the question and be there for each other so that we can see each other shine. All right. Okay. I think I answered that question. Any other question? Any other questions? Okay. Now, I will say something here, maybe in, excuse me, in plan to wrap up so that because I know there are some people here that still needs to join another class or another thing so that they can have freedom. So I will say this as we round up, like okay, in growing, for you to grow in software dev, first thing that you need to actually deal with is uh, thinking that you're not enough. Inferiority complex. That is not the English I'm looking for, but you might think to yourself, like, okay, I don't have computer science background. I don't know about computer science. I don't know this. I don't know Java. The person that is actually speaking to you doesn't also have computer science background. No, I don't. I do not. And I stopped telling people because after a while, nobody wants to take me seriously if I say I don't have computer science background, right? All you just need to succeed as a software dev, it's your curiosity, right? That is all you need to succeed as a software dev, your curiosity. So how, don't just see it work. Try to know why is it working the way it is working, right? If it is working, that is fine. But try to find out if something goes wrong, what happens? So why is it working the way it is working? So that curiosity is the drive you have to keep pushing you and also to get you up there as a software dev. Okay, finally, okay. Any other question? 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. 8 seconds. Oh, I'm supposed to be counting now. Okay, sorry. Let me start from 10. 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, 0. Okay, fantastic. So I will say that thank you for everyone that actually joined this podcast this morning. And I want you to know that in your journey of becoming software dev, you are not alone. That's the assurance I'm actually giving you. You're not alone. You can actually bump on me anytime, drop a message, and also ask any questions you need or that you feel it's going to help you grow in your journey as a software developer. And also, there is one thing I did while I was trying to learn that worked for me. I bought a course, and the only thing, it was supposed to be a software development course, but the only thing, the course didn't help me. Instead, the course was trying to teach me how to build websites with WordPress. Please run away from that. It won't help your journey as a software developer. But there's only one thing I picked from that particular course that said that from the moment I bought the course, the first word of that man was that start calling yourself a software developer. Telling people you are a software developer. If they ask you what you do, keep telling them you are a software developer. In your church, family meetings, tell them I'm now in tech. This will help you and set you up. When you say those words, you're setting yourself up. And that will be ringing your head every day that you cannot fail. You tell people this is what you do. Now, that is what they are going to be seeing you as. And in that case, you keep learning and you keep growing. So now, keep telling people this is what you do. This is who you are now. This is the journey you are taking on. And I know that that will help you to grow as a software developer. So to aspiring software developer or people who are already here, who are software engineers already, thank you for making up this time. And by God's grace, we'll see you again next Saturday, the same time. But this time around, please come loaded with your question. So I'll see you again next Saturday. So my name still remains Michael. See you next Saturday. Goodbye, everyone.